Good morning, grade 10, online learners. Good morning also to my face-to-face. Do not turn off the light, Rabbi. Our internet connection will reset also. Okay. So let's continue. Let's continue. There. We are back. Back online. Okay. Let's continue. This is a really good topic. Madam, the box the circular one. Cheese first. The red comes. Oh. The applicant here. The money. Okay, let's move now to electromagnetic waves or EM waves. The electromagnetic spectrum, as Maxwell's predictions, right? Electromagnetic waves, or EM waves, were first generated and detected experimentally by Henry Hertz. That's why you have your kilohertz. Okay. Megahertz. That is actually came under Henry Hertz in 1887. They are classified as transverse wave. Let's take a look at transverse waves later. Okay. The electric and magnetic fields of EM or EM waves are perpendicular to each other. Yes, madam. No. Again, the electric and magnetic fields of an EM wave are perpendicular to each other to the direction of propagation. It is perpendicular. It is actually what? Moving in a straight line. Okay. The EM waves in the spectrum are arranged according to decreasing frequency and increasing wavelength. Decreasing frequency, let's take a look at what is frequency again and what is wavelength. What are the differences of this, right? Please take down notes, get your science notebook. Okay. Low frequency waves have longer wavelength, okay? Longer wavelength, while high frequency waves have shorter wavelength, okay? This arrangement indicates that there is an inverse relationship between frequency and wavelength. So if you're gonna have your rope, okay, if you move your rope just like this, I have here if this is the string, okay, if you're gonna move a certain rope up and down, so you are creating a spectrum, okay? So the shorter or the longer or low frequency have longer wavelength, the longer the wavelength, okay, the low the frequency is. The higher the wavelength or the shorter the frequency is. So this is now the pattern. Can you hold this one, Rabbi? So if you're gonna move this, okay, you tend to see that there are some curvature there. So that is actually wavelength. Now, as what Planck's discussed, okay, he actually telling us that low frequency have longer wavelength. So we have longer wavelength because we are actually what? Using only a what? A short. Low frequency have longer wavelength because again we are near to each other, bit far. So we are what? Using only what energy? Low energy also. So we have longer wavelength. You can see longer wavelength. But if I'm gonna move this with this direction, hold tight, Rabi. Okay, you can actually see that it has shorter wavelength, meaning to say that we are using, okay, a higher or high energy. That's the concept. So that is inversely proportional. You see, inversely proportional, it is directly opposite. Okay, low frequency have longer wavelength. Okay, while high frequency have short. So if you can put it in mathematical equation, this is what? Frequency is inversely proportional to wavelength. Okay? This arrangement indicates that there is an inverse relationship between frequency and wavelength. Did you get the point? You sure? You sure?
Yes.
How about others? Low frequency have longer wavelength. So when you move an object or when you move the rope, okay, you are creating frequency. That is the frequency. Okay. So because we are using only low frequency or low energy, so we have longer wavelength. But if you're gonna use high energy or high frequency, it will become shorter wavelength because we are using high frequency or what? Or high energy. Frequency is their energy, right? EM waves carry energy called radiation. Okay? Radiation. This is the reason why EM waves are also called electromagnetic radiation. Please take note of the terminologies. Again. Are you still with us, online learners?
Excuse me, teacher, the presentation's not being displayed.
Yeah, let me share my screen. I'm sorry. Okay, can you see my shared screen now?
Yes, teacher, thank you.
Okay. Again, we need to go back. Okay. Again, there is an inverse relationship between frequency and wavelength. So low frequency waves have longer wavelength because we're using only what? A low energy. Okay, which means that you are creating longer wavelength. While high frequency have shorter wavelength because you're using a lot of energy in that certain manner. Okay, EM waves carry energy called radiation because again, it is a particle in nature. It radiates. This is the reason why EM waves are also called electromagnetic radiation. Okay, generally, the higher the frequency of the wave, the more energy it carries, and the more hazardous, or it can cause hazards or human hazards, it becomes. Questions? Downloads. Are you still with me? Low frequency EM waves. The low frequency EM waves include radio waves, the one we are actually using in our radio phones, microwaves, infrared rays, and visible light spectrum, visible light waves. Please take down. radio waves. Radio waves are the lowest frequency, the longest wavelength. Because it has the lowest frequency, it has also the longest wavelength. Remember that frequency is inversely proportional to wavelength. Okay, thus they can travel long distance. Okay, this is the reason why it is used mainly for communication, just like what we are actually using last event. We're using a radio phone. Okay, radio phones is using what, the lowest frequency, and of course because it has the longest wavelength, it can travel far. Okay, that's the main reason why we can communicate within certain level. Okay, if this is your transmitter, by the way, our radio phones are transmitter receivers. So it transmits and it also receives. Okay, if this is your transmitter, it transmits radio waves going to the receiver and vice versa. Alright. Done. Make sure that you're taking down notes. Questions so far? Please update the attendance on you. Again, this is a transmitter. Transmitters transmit radio waves going to the receiver. But again, in our communication or our comms, okay, we are using transmitter, receiver. It transmit and it also receive. Radio waves are classified according to their wavelength. Okay, a long wave has a wavelength 1 to 2 kilometers, while medium wave has a wavelength of around 100 meters. Hold on. Hello, good morning. Okay, let's continue. Again, a long wavelength has a wavelength of 1 to 2 kilometers, meaning this is what? This is too far. It can reach more, okay, compared to the medium wavelength and the. Wait, let me take this call. Right, I have a lot of calls. Okay. A medium wavelength has the wavelength around 100 meters and is used in amplitude modulation. This is used in AM radio stations. That's amplitude, okay, modulation. These waves have frequency between 550 kilohertz to 1600 kilohertz. Second quarter. Second quarter. Oh, yeah. EOP version 2. Yeah, BM and Janine. UMBP? Okay, let's continue. The very high frequency VHF waves have wavelengths around 2 meters, and these are used by frequency or frequency modulated radio stations and are within the range of 88 to 108 megahertz. Okay. The other class of radio waves are called ultra high frequency waves. Okay. We're actually using in our radio phones, we're using VHF and UHF. Okay, please take down notes. Please take down notes. They have wavelengths of less than 1 meter. Okay. This type of radio wave is used by television broadcasting, cordless phones, walkie-talkies, okay, police radio communication, aircraft radios, and other radio communication applications. By the way, sure, how do the communications comms of the police enforcement and in the barangay works? Morning, Chris. Get attendance, Rabi. How do they work? Okay, even they're very far. Okay, their comms as amplifiers to amplify signals. they have also this to spread their frequency. Okay, others they register, like for example, the IRAF, they register their comms to NTC or National Telecommunications Commission. Okay, that is for them to use that certain frequency. Okay, let's continue. Radio waves are useful form of EM waves, but also have some disadvantages. What are these disadvantages? Okay, low exposure to radio waves may not affect health because it has, of course, low energy. Low frequency means low energy. Okay, carried by these waves. However, some health experts say that too much exposure to high frequency radio waves may cause cancer, leukemia, and other health problems. Okay, again, let me reiterate this. Okay, low exposure to radio waves may not affect health because it has again low energy carried by these waves. However, some health experts may say that this much exposure to high frequency radio waves, just like those living near near transmitters towers, okay, it has high frequency there because it amplifies the radio waves. It amplifies also these frequencies. It may cause cancer, leukemia, and other health problems. It can cause cancer. So exposure to this radiation may cause cancer. Sure, how about our phones? We are actually sleeping with our phone, correct? Are you sleeping with your phone?
Yes.
Okay. Should you put your phone near your head
Yeah.
while sleeping? It's
Yeah.
correct.
Yes.
Usually, you put your phone near your chest.
Oh.
Sometimes, take note that it emits radiation.
Leukemia.
Observe your phone. Cover it with your pillow. Okay? Cover it with your pillow. So
Usually
you're
the-
tracking now the frequency.
My mother told me that should be bad also.
Items overheat, it will overheat. It will overheat. Why? Because you're chopping the radiation. And that heat, okay, can actually damage your brain.
My brain is really bad. What?
That can actually damage your, especially if you're using a smartphone, a high-end phone, just like iPhone, bigger radiation.
How about jump?
Uh,
High-end phones has a lot of radiation, bigger radiation compared to the mid-end and the low-end phone.
Leukemia.
Let's move now to microwave. Okay. Microwaves are basically extremely high frequency radio waves. Okay. Since its frequency is very high, its wavelength is very short. So again, inversely proportional. The shorter the wavelength, the higher the frequency. Okay. These waves are produced with various types of transmitters. A mobile phone, take note, uses a transmitter chip to produce microwaves. Again, a mobile phone uses a transmitter chip. Okay, aside from it emits radio phones, it also emits microwaves. Okay, and the microwave oven uses a magnetron. Okay, your microwave oven uses a magnetron, Charles, a transmitter that converts electrical energy into microwave radiation. This is why it is not advisable that you put metals in your microwave.
Plastic okay.
It depends upon the plastic also, because some of the plastics are not microwavable. You cannot use that one in a microwave. Based on experience, so you melted your plastic in your microwave.
No,
Oh my god.
it boom like that.
Explode?
Yeah. My dad did that. Every time it exploded in
Question so far with microwaves?
I love
Microwaves. By the way, these lessons are from lower grades. Okay? These are from lower grades. Stars are also transmitters of microwaves. Again, stars also transmitters of microwaves. Microwaves can also be reflected and absorbed. Food is cooked in a microwave oven or in a microwave oven by absorbing microwaves. Okay. Yes. Metallic objects reflect microwaves. This is the main reason why metallic containers are not used in microwave ovens. Non-metallic objects such as glass and plastics can be used as containers for heating the food in the microwave oven because they allow microwaves to pass through and thus cook the food inside these containers. But take note that there are some glass that is non-microwavable. You cannot use that one in the microwave or else you can actually throw the glass. Or there are some containers that are non-microwavable, meaning to say that it still absorbs heat and it will melt. If you're gonna reheat your pork or your beef inside the microwave, tendency is some of the fats there will burst because it absorbs the microwave. However, not all glass and plastic food containers are microwavable. Microwave safe containers are specifically designed to resist radiation from microwaves. Microwaves are also commonly used in satellite communication. Okay, mobile phones and radar used for weather monitoring and navigation in air and sea. Despite of these important applications, research findings warn users of microwaves from its harmful effect. It has harmful effects. So meaning to say that um, the technology that we are using now can also harm us. Okay? If you're gonna use it in a different manner or you're gonna use it just like your phones. Your phones is a very um good tool for us. Remember that it will make our life easier, even make your research easier. The research is just on the tip of your fingers, right? But then again, if you're gonna abuse it, take note, it will radiate a lot. And there are some cases that it can cause seizure, especially in babies.
the phones can make the research in here.
What is seizure, by the way? Who has an idea of what happened when if somebody has seizures?
They're processed.
They're possessed,
Breakdown.
brain damage. Yes.
They have muscle spasms that can disrupt the nerve. They can control muscle.
Yes, you have an idea. What else? What's an idea? With seizures. Take note that our brain has its own wiring. Okay? Has its own wiring. And this wiring will be what? Interrupted by the radiation. Once interrupted, you cannot actually control your movements. Your brain will transmit different signals towards your what? Towards your musculoskeletal system to create movement. Okay? That's why I am thinking about in the NCC, we will add this one in our project. Or we thinking? I am actually thinking about giving you a CPR. No, a not signal jammer, but I will give you a training with regards to first aid? How to, like the CPR, the burns, what are the things that we need to consider when there are some burns, what are the things that we need to consider if we can actually have these situations, hopefully. Okay. Let's move forward. Question so far with microwaves. According to research, prolonged exposure to microwaves can cause cataract in eyes. This tells you to avoid putting your face very close to water, dry ice, or an ice to an operating microwave. Okay. Oven just to check if your food is ready. Dry ice.
Huh?
It's ice.
I
Dry ice, not the ice. Dry ice. The condition of dry ice is that there is no lubrication in your eyes. Tendency is, if no, we can actually see if you have dry ice.
heard it.
But if there is no lubrication in your eyes, then note that your eyes is moist state. It has lack of moisture, correct? But if your dry eyes, tendency is, fish. Because again, it needs moisture. Your eyeballs need a lot of moisture to lubricate itself. Okay? This is the main reason why you don't need to put your face near the operating microwave or running microwave. Okay? Do not do that. Okay? Just to check your food is ready. Don't immerse in your microwave. You just wait. Some of the microwave ovens also is already protected. The glass is already protected. You cannot actually see something there. Correct? It is already blackened, tinted for your protection. Another warning brought about the recent research finding is on the use of mobile phones that can affect parts of your brain. It can affect parts of your brain. Okay. Remember that when you make phone calls, you are holding a cell phone with a transmitter chip right beside your head. Yes, that is that all about. You're smiling by yourself.
We have phones internet.
You're watching.
Again, remember that when you make phone calls, you are holding a cell phone with a transmitter chip beside your head. It emits microwaves that can cause an increase in temperature when absorbed by your body or your brain. So it will cook your brain. Simple as that. So that you knowing it.
That's the way. Yo.
I second the motion.
Right.
First place,
First place.
first baseman.
Let's continue. If you are young, your brain is still growing. Although the research findings are still inclusive or inconclusive, it is good if you take them seriously. Okay? So to prevent this from happening, you should keep your phone short and do not sleep with your mobile phones beside you or near your head.
You may not use speaker.
Yeah, you can actually use speakers. But usually, if you're actually playing Mobile Legends, you just put your phone beside you. Holding no, that's the problem.
What about
Because it is not actually the problem of the technology, it is actually your problem. You're using the technology.
Against.
So what the Wi-Fi says.
Wi-Fi?
Yeah, Wi-Fi it is a short wave, so it's okay. Wi-Fi is a short wave. Okay, it actually carries less energy. No, it carries less energy. It has long waves. Again, it has long waves. It carries less energy.
You worry about the physics.
The PC, I think the problem there is in your monitors, but your monitors nowadays, it emits low radiation compared to these monitors. Okay, the monitors, just like what Ma'am Irene is using, it emits low radiation. LEDs, they're using LEDs, light emitting diodes. So it has low frequency.
The what's it called, sir? The RP.
Yeah, the crystal liquefied display is more dangerous.
Yeah, that's TV, sir.
It's more dangerous.
The phone can see the waves.
Okay, if you're going to look at again the transmission of this is, by the way, microwave. Okay, this is the frequency and the transmission. Atmospheric radiation. Take a look at this. So it has actually a bigger, a shorter wavelength or frequency. The bigger the frequency, the shorter the wavelength. Take a look at the wavelength. Okay, the frequency. Okay, it has a bigger frequency but a shorter wavelength. So again, this carries a lot of energy. Let me take this for a while.